So this is Magnetic Media Studios, where I do all my writing and composing and editing and pretty much everything else. The first movie that I saw where the soundtrack really stood out to me was the original Superman. I think I was like 6 or 7 at the time, and I started buying movie soundtracks to things like, Close Encounters. I remember bought Halloween. I loved all of John Carpenter's scores. I loved all of the Goblin stuff. One of my favorite scores is the stuff they worked on for the original Dawn of the Dead. I also am a big fan of minimalism in scores, so things like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a huge favorite of mine. What Tobe Hooper and Wayne Bell did with power tools and just the use of dissonance, and I definitely think a lot of filmmakers overlook the value and the power of music, and when it comes to horror films, it's absolutely essential. In fact, it drives the entire movie.
The music was really good. The jumps really, everybody got it at one point.
To make those scary sounds and the stingers, it's a combination of sounds. I'm like a mad scientist with those. So I'm constantly layering things to make it work and to come up with new ideas and stuff like that.
Ellie! Scared me.
It's a fine line between silly and cheesy and scary, so you have to walk that fine line. Movie scoring for me was never really something that I was considering doing when I was making my first movie. But what's funny is, when I was a kid, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a film composer. I wanted to be John Williams. I wanted to conduct the orchestra. But I had no talent for music. I have no talent for really composing music, writing music, interpreting music, music theory. It all went right over my head. I failed out of it. So I'm totally a frustrated musician. I can't even play my guitar right because I can't do left and right hand at the same time. I can't do it. My daughter plays violin and she's amazing, and it skipped a generation, clearly. But yeah, with Malevolence, I realized that I had to do it. So when I wrote my first piece of music for that film, which was the opening credits, I played it back and I thought, okay, I did 1, let me try doing 2. It was kind of incremental like that. I was like, all right, I've done 2 songs, maybe I can do 3. You listen to other things, and you get inspired. Could I do something similar to that, or come up with my own interpretation of what horror music should be?
Yes?
So in a way, maybe I was kind of like destined to do my own music, but it wasn't something that I thought I would have to do until I had to do it. To score Killer, I used my trusty Triton rack, which I always lean on. My Kurzweil 2600, which still has the nicest piano sound and also the synthesis behind it, the effects that are built into this keyboard. I've yet to find anything that marries the two that just sounds the way this thing sounds. Okay, 1 step back, Adrian, and perfect. Action. Once I finally had reshot the film and put everything together, that's when I started scoring the film. I have to have everything laid out before I start scoring because there's a theme that runs throughout, and unless I see the piece in its entirety, I can't really understand how to approach it, because one thing informs the other, and it's like this big, house of cards. I mean, I love shooting the movie, even though that's the most difficult part. I love editing, but scoring is the most fun.
But we didn't finish the game.
I just have to check on something.
For me, that's the most fun part of all of this. And that's why I don't mind, jumping in and doing it. because I enjoy it, I love it. One of my favorite scenes is when Perkins is at the storage unit investigating the murder of the van driver. When he's coming up over the hill, I inserted this one single guitar chord. I wanted you to feel like this guy was just as tough as Martin was evil. And they finally do meet at the end.
Don't move!
There's some tension there that there's, I've built up both characters, and, so that's why the music is really big, every time you see these two characters interact. The way I usually approach a scene, I like to build from a foundation of rhythm. And this is a simple rhythm track, and I wanted to accentuate those hits, so I added something, a secondary track, which comes in, and you'll hear it starts to build incrementally. You can hear the higher strings come in. But you'll hear like the different instruments, like the strings and then the horns, and it all comes together. And it's pretty effective. I'm constantly surprised at how authentic the sampling technology is today and what it can lend to your movie. Whatever it is that you can imagine, you can do now.